watched It's a Wonderful Life. This was my first time watching this film, and I gotta admit, it started off pretty dark for me. You know, like I was like,
Mm-hmm.
we're almost 2 hours in, and this thing better get better because I'm freaking sad, dude. This guy had problem after problem after problem. All this man wanted to do was go on vacation. Am I wrong about this? Like he wakes up, like the first
A
scene
bit.
is like, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to
Well,
Africa, I'm going here, I'm going here.
I
And
think
and he ends up
sorry, go ahead.
no. He just ends up staying in his town because he's gotta like help stuff.
I think
You
it
know?
was more. I think it was more. He had ambitions and he had an idea of where he wanted his life to be. Like he wished that he could be in a better position, so he could take his wife, for a vacation because their honeymoon ended up being in their own
No.
house.
Before the honeymoon is another problem he had. They're going to New York. They got
Yeah,
$2,000. They're gonna spend on dinner and all this stuff. The man gets out of his car for 1 second, and all that stuff is
yeah,
erased. All that stuff
yeah.
is erased. He can never leave the town. I don't know what it is. He can't ever do
Well, I
it.
mean,
Well, I mean,
that's
there's an explanation, but it's going to knock everything else out of the movie if I bring it. But it's just basically like God has been laying all these riches at his feet the entire time, and he just refuses to acknowledge them, and he keeps like trying to like make things happen for him instead of
yeah,
and understanding that he is beyond rich. But I think the worst part was where his dad had a stroke. Man, he was about to see Donna Reed in her prime, and he had
hmm
to go home. So I think that was the biggest travesty. So.
Well, I mean, I think that I mean, he could have, like Mo said, he
In
could
her
have
prime.
taken the money. He could have taken the money and say, fuck this down. He could have taken the money and say, I don't want to keep the bank open during the Great Depression. See, he could have made all of those. He could have taken the job that gave him more money, but then screw everybody else and screw the community. But he chose not to do that.
Right. Yeah. This movie, man, it was really hard for me to watch. With the past month that we've had over on Criticalist, it was a struggle.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's a pretty crushing story, but by the end, and I mean, I've seen it before. I saw it when I was a kid, and for those that don't know, basically, and I can kind of talk about it now. I don't want to like weigh down the stream or whatever too much, but it's
No,
like,
man, let it out, man.
yeah, essentially, Criticalist was extorted legally, and someone tried to sue us. It's been about 2 months of us in litigation and trying to keep our heads above water, and it ended up still costing us a lot of money and a lot of legal fees. And it's one of those things where a story like this, following a person who is just trying to do what's best, right? Like, and trying to better his community and doing the hard thing and doing, what a lot of people wouldn't want to do, taking these risks and then just being the little man and just being pummeled and knocked down over and over again and
Yeah.
not being able to get his head above water. Like, it's discouraging and it's hard. And it really, to a story like this is important, especially for people that are taking risks, that are putting their neck on the chopping block and on the line. It is good to remember that these communities and these families that we build up, and whether it be your neighbors or your online family and friends or whoever it is, like these people, you need to make sure to rally with them and keep them abreast of the things that are going on in your life and what's going on through your head, and remember the changes and the difference that you have made in their lives and everyone around you, and where your goal is, what you're trying to do. Because if you forget this stuff, this world is tough and it will eat you alive. And I mean, this movie came out in the 40s, and it's kind of a tale as old as time, is that like the people that are trying to do good, that are trying to change the world, that are trying to make this world a better place, they are going to be the number one target. And that is a really, really hard pill to swallow. And
Yeah.
it was a message that I needed to hear, but it was kind of hard to watch,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
just to see him get drugged through the mud. I was in the middle of getting drugged through the mud and talking to lawyers every day, just trying to keep Criticalist from not existing anymore for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I saw it, but it is hard. And it's a hard lesson that I think some people have to learn. And it's a good thing for all of us to remember. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
no, and I'm glad you got to see it when you got to see it. It hits a little different when you're a bit older, doesn't it? Because I
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
seen it since I was a kid. But yeah,
Same.
no, that's what it is, and it's the old and we all feel it at some point, whether you believe it or not. Is God will never give you any more than you can handle,
Right.
and he
Yeah.
believes in you, and that's the whole part of the story. Is like George is just, but he's got the will, he's got the willpower, and the kindness and the strength of character to be able to carry this on his back. And
Yeah.
he got like everything. Mr. Welsh knocks him out for talking trash to
Mhm.
his wife, which
Right.
those were the good
Yeah.
old days, weren't they? But
Yeah,
yeah, you're just like,
Yes.
it's just like it stinks that we got to follow him for an hour and 45 minutes. I don't remember that part of the movie being so long before
Yeah.
Clarence actually shows up. But you just see him, all of his dreams get shattered and shattered and shattered. But like you notice, like there's all this goodness coming too. And anytime that there's a down, everybody people in the community lift him up. So it's hard to see when you've been through the ringer, but it's also good to see, and you kind of understand all the good stuff that's happening in George's life throughout
Yeah.
that point that you kind of miss because you're focusing on the problems.
See,
Which-
I think like from
yeah.
my perspective though is I didn't think it was that depressing. I just thought that was real life. Because like every day and just coming from the side of the lawyer, I am constantly talking to small businesses, middle-sized businesses, and large companies, right, that are like everywhere in the US or abroad. And they all have stuff that comes up, right? And they're all are they all have to do and tackle really hard situations and circumstances, right? But they are choosing to rise above it. So every time there was a roadblock, they saw that as an opportunity for them to get better, to be a better person. So when things started happening to him and it's like, oh, well, I can't go on this trip anymore, for example, or this situation just happened and he sucks, he just chose to be the better person and he chose to rise above it. So I saw all those little successes like mount up as he was going through it, and that to me was encouraging to see, because I see it like day to day, every single day. I'm on the phone because everybody always gets sued or the government comes knocking their door, right? And I see just small business owners rise above, middle-sized owners and even large companies who really have nothing like to fear from like a crazy nut job that just sues everybody every single day, because there are people out there that do that, right? But they, it's like they choose to do that. So every time something came up, I didn't think of it as like, oh, this is depressing, it sucks now. It was an opportunity that they chose to tackle and be a better person. And one of the things that I really liked too was the fact that like, because like we understand it is like as Americans, we understand the Great Depression, we understand World War II, so we understand the hurdles that they took, because during the Great Depression everybody ran to the bank to take the money out, and I just thought it was so beautiful, the fact that he said, hold on, let me dig into my own pockets and help the community. And you don't see that. You just generally don't see a lot of people being like such an amazing person. Like the goodness in their heart was just absolutely amazing. And like it touched me every single time something like that happened, right? And it made sense like when the government was there, and the auditors were there, they were like, okay, dude, time to pay up. That's always an opportunity that always happens, at some point or other, when like even if you're not a business owner, if you have a bunch of bills and all your bills are due, at the same time, there's so many people that get down and they get depressed. Depression is very normal. No, like it's okay if anybody out there is depressed. You can get through it. And the one of the things that like is really important to know, just little PSA, if you're ever feeling so down that you feel you need to Minecraft yourself, wait 5 minutes, because the urgency will come down, because nobody can keep such a high emotion, right? And I feel like that was part of the process that he went through, is he waited that quote 5 minutes by seeing the impact that he had in everybody's life, right? And I am just so completely blessed by the fact that I was able to experience this movie and share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
Your first time watching?
Yeah, it was my first time watching
Same.
it. I loved
Yeah.
it so much.
Really?
Oh my God. Amazing.
That's
Oh, wow.
My first time, I remember I'd forgotten about it. I was telling my wife, I watched it literally on a black and white TV
It
with
wasn't easy.
turn
Yeah.
dials. Right. With turn dials on it. And I remember even as a little kid, I was just like, and we had my young kids watch it this time, and we are like, just be patient, just hang with it. And they did end up
Mm-hmm.
enjoying it, but it's definitely a bit hard for sure. And I think that no matter the age, it's like you can kind of put some of this in perspective of we can all just get overwhelmed by life sometimes.
Oh yeah, for exactly.
Mhm.
And like I said before, the just keep in mind you just have to wait 5 minutes. Just wait 5 minutes. Hold on just by a second, and you will be okay.
Yeah, but it's like it was with throughout the movie. It's just like he kept focusing on all the problems, and he had so many blessings in his life.
Yeah, but
Donna
that's
Reed was like
that's what we
Mary was
do,
like
though, isn't it?
all about like, okay, look, I've been poor, I've been destitute, I've been young and stuff like that. Believe it or not, I've been young
You're
at
being
some point in
young.
my life.
You
It was
I've
a
been young.
long,
God.
long
No,
time
long
no,
time
no,
ago.
Cap.
So,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
but if Donna Reed is like just smiling at you and grinning and stuff like that, you're not going to be. He's like, James Stewart is just like, whatever. George, like, can't pay attention to her, and she's getting all frustrated and stuff, and it's just like, which is a great scene because then they actually get together. But he's so frustrated that he can't get what he wants when he, like I said, he's not realizing that he's getting all of these wonderful things in his life. But it's a wonderful life. But they do such a good job of kind of like making that, even though it's almost 80 years ago, they do such a great job of making it relatable for people that weren't even, I was not, believe it or not, I wasn't around for this movie, but you can relate to it, even though it was 79 years ago. You can still relate to
Oh
it. You
yeah.
can understand what they're
Yeah.
going through. Technology is different, people are different, society is different, but we can all kind of put ourselves in George's spot. And that's the great part about this movie, is that we go on this long journey with them. And yeah, the best part of the movie is the last 30 minutes, but it's worth setting it up for that long. Yeah, it's depressing, but it's awesome. The payoff is completely worth it. That's why it's one of the best movies of all time.
It's amazing.
Yep.
It's the reason why I don't watch depression films, man. Because I feel like, and not to drag the stream down, but I mean, everyone has it sounds like everyone's been there maybe once in their life, but like when you've like been in a really bad spot, and you like just watching like depression movies, this just pulls me back down into like a place that you just don't want to be.
Yeah.
This movie was doing it. It's just like, yeah, because everything, it's like, my God, man. Yeah. And people do struggle with the fact that they feel that the world would be better without them,
Mhm.
and it's like when he got to that point where he was like saying in the movie, like, I'm worth more dead than I am alive. It's like,
That's-
my gosh, man. Like,
But that's also
brutal.
not true.
of course it's not true.
It sure is.
But that's,
Right.
I mean, that's what he learned.
many-
That's what he learned when, but it's like, my gosh, man, if like somebody calls you on the phone and you end the movie right there, and you don't
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
back to it to
Well,
finish it.
This is the way that I approach life, because I've been through a very rough stretch in my life about 10 years ago. But one thing I've learned is you cannot enjoy the entirety of life without enjoying all the flavors. You can't, got to have the sweet, you got to have the bitter, you got to have the salty, and you got to have all of these parts of your life to counterbalance each other, to enjoy the best things that you have in your life. Because if you don't go through the bitter, which we all will have bad times in our life, you can't savor the good. So that's why movies like this, even though I've been depressed, I've been in bad parts of my life, it makes it that much more enjoyable, because I can relate to that even more because I've lived it. And that's why the payoff is even better. I never got emotional at the end of It's a Wonderful Life, but last time I watched it, I wasn't a dad. I had not gone through all that stuff. But now that I
Right.
have, much like Blaine has said, it hit a little harder for Blaine because he had a Mr. Parter in his life. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you don't or you haven't, it's one of those good reminders too, to be like, look, everybody is going through some shit.
Yeah.
Like there's
Mhm.
people all over, people that people that might have not said anything and are quiet about it. And it's just like, remember, just like you might know somebody in your life that is having a hard time like this, and like keep them in mind, because they might, it might just take you being like, hey,
Mhm.
you're loved, you're good. Like, I'm here. You need anything, even if it's just a hug or to tell you that you're good enough. Like, and I think that it's
Yeah.
important for that as well.
Well, I mean, we had people that not that I knew personally, but two people commit suicide. Like this one YouTuber, he was 48 years old. He did like a lot of tech stuff. I was a subscriber to his channel, and just couldn't take it anymore. Then we just had that actor that just recently, he was 46,
Yeah.
did the same thing. And it's like in this film, it was hard for, and I see all the gifties and stuff. You guys are amazing. Thank you. We'll get to it. Like, I think the hardest thing was for, I don't know, for anybody, but it's like going through life with a smile when you're going through hell, man.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't let anybody see it. It's like it wasn't until he had like that crash out in front of his kids, where it's like, oh man, now it hit him. Now it's affecting his home life, But so many people just try to, I don't know, man, just keep going while dealing with so much and just smile. You doing okay, man? Yeah, I'm fine. But it's not fine. Things ain't good, man. Things ain't good mentally or whatever. And we don't know what people going through and stuff like that. And and that movie just brought all that stuff out. So, and it's like, I don't know. It just really like, it upset me. Like, I'm glad I made it through to the end.
Right. It's kind of like getting splashed with cold water. Like it's
but Sevi was, I'm sorry, Sevi, but Sevi was right. Like, you go on and you help people and now you're like, I help so many people. Why is this bad stuff still happening? It's just, it's rough to where you get to that point where you'd rather feel like I'm worth more to these people dead than I am alive, which of course wasn't true. And that's what they showed him. The whole town of him not being around, what the town would end up being like. So, Ladybug says, why didn't we choose a happy movie? Well, it was happy because when you learn the valuable lesson that you were born with a purpose, that you were born, that you have things that you have to do, as long as you're on this world, that you have to shake off the lies that have been told to you, that you're not good enough, that you're this, that you're that, and keep going forward. You understand that life looks a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I think he discovered, because he didn't even care. Like, I guess that one part, like, he didn't even care that he was going to jail.
Yeah, he did.
At least that's how the movie portrayed it. He goes, "Oh, you're here to arrest me, right? Well, where's my wife and kids? Let me just see them real quick."
Right. Oh yeah, well, yeah, which is kind of funny too. There's a lot of stuff like this that was it was hitting too close to home. There was literally conversations around my house that were like, so if we like fought this and I got sent to jail, like just as a like F you, like what would be the repercussions? Like how long would I go for? Like those were conversations that I was having a couple weeks ago.
That's
like,
crazy.
Because it is super weird because sometimes it's just like you're like, well, maybe that's the easiest thing to have happen. Like, and it's it's a weird spot to be in, and a lot of people don't find themselves in it. But as Sevi said, that's the thing to remember is people do, like, you deal with people every day that are dealing with this crap.
Yeah,
and,
this is an everyday thing for me, unfortunately. Like, I see people at their worst, but it also gives me the opportunity to see them at the best.
Yeah, and as a quick personal story, I got canceled like about 3 years ago from a really good gig, but it led me to do this. So, you doubt yourself. You don't look at the good things you have in your life, and you know what? You might miss the good things that might come up in your life. You might miss an opportunity. So always keep your chin up and help people out getting out of their holes. Because guess what? If you help lift them up, guess what? You're going up too, baby. So I don't want it to be too depressing. Everybody in the chat's getting sad faces.
I think that if he had not tried to bury everything so far into himself and he would have asked people for help, people would have helped him and he wouldn't have gotten that down. And that's also, I think that's another message too, because I know it's easier for women to ask for help than men is to ask for help. But the fact is that if you ask for help, your friends will be there, right? And they will be there through the thick and thin to pull you up and help you, be better and get through it. So just keep that in mind too, because if he would have said, if he would have told people, hey, I'm not okay, this is what's going on, people would have rallied behind him. Right.
And I mean, that is right before you said that, I was going to say, a lot of this is a kind of the plight of being a man, right? Is like, and we don't see these stories a lot. It's just, it is kind of a vulnerable thing.
Which is exactly what happens at the end of the movie. Donna Reed or Mary goes
Yeah.
out and they go
She's the
gather
one
money.
she's the
Yep.
one that tells people, hey,
Yep.
he's not okay. What happened? Hey, everybody, please help us.
Yep.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's okay too, because sometimes you have friends like that or a significant other. Oh, thank you, Corpa. and sometimes you have like a significant other or friends that will know you're not okay and will rally everybody else around you too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, and I mean, even props to Jay, where it's like all the stuff that happened with us. First thing I did, I was like, I know who. Message Jay. I'm like, bro, it's on fire. We're not good. I need prayers or something. And then it wasn't an hour later, and Jeremy's calling me. And so it's like that's the thing. Remember that there are people, there are people out there that'll help and support you.
I do want to give a shout out to this guy, even though he doesn't realize it, been a hero in at least my early morning streams. He was man, Graham, I'm gonna mess this up. He was an addict that pretty much died. Like what were you smoking? Crack? What were you doing? Whatever, like meth. What was it?
Oh, I remember this guy. I think it was Fent. I think was
fentanyl.
It? Yeah, I remember
that?
this guy's story. Yeah.
And he says he's no hero. I know you say that, but and then how long you been sober? He goes, I was snorting fentanyl. How long have you been clean? It's only been a few months, though, right? It's only been a few months. You're a hero to me, whether you like it or not, because I've had people in my family that just they can't crack it. They can't beat it, and for someone, to beat it and be openly about it and talk about it. 9 months this Sunday, baby.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
Congratulations. You can do
awesome.
this.
Yeah, 9 months this Sunday.
Awesome.
I know he fights a battle every day that I will never understand. So, every that I will never ever understand. So that's freaking awesome. And it's I think you're a hero to me, man, because like there's a lot of people that are fighting these same battles that feel like all is lost, and they need someone to say, man, if some idiot named Graham Robinson is beating it, then I can do it too. So it's one of those things, Graham. I could call him that because I think we'll see.
Oh, thank you, fantastic.
But yeah, no, he's just one of many that have come through this dark place. There he is. All right, that's come to this dark place and kicked it right in the balls and just kept going, man. Like that's
yeah.
I love those stories, dude. Like I love those stories, and I love when people were sharing. Like and he started a whole domino effect of people in the chat that are like, "Well, I'm 3 months sober. I'm this and that. I'm this and that." So it's one of those things. So much respect to you, because I tell people that all the time. I'm like, there was a point in my maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So it's an ongoing battle. People that struggle with depression, it's an everyday battle that people will never understand. They just won't. People don't understand what you're going through unless they're literally going through it with you. And for people to try to understand, it's weird. And you have to understand that in a way that people want to help, but they won't get it. And you have to keep pushing through. And one of the biggest things that, at least for me, and it's just what I say to myself on a regular, it was you get to a point in life where people like you have a dream or a vision or something that you're trying to do, and people tell you that you can't do it, or they tell you you're too old, or you're too young, or you're too ugly, or you're too this, or you're not smart enough, or you're not that. And then you take what those people are saying, which is a lie, and you turn it to truth in your own mind. So now you believe it because you think it's true, and you live in this place of like you're confined to a box because you put yourself in there because you believe the lie that somebody told you. When in fact there is something valuable that you're supposed to give to this world, and it doesn't have to make you the most popular person in the world or anything like that. But it might be for the person that's in your family, might be for your wife or your kids or your neighbor or your friend or whoever, and that's the most valuable thing that you need to do to make this world a better place. And I say all that because it's too many people get sucked in that they're not good enough, that they have no value, which is totally not true. Totally not true. You do have a value, and everyone around you has a value, and it's just you got to keep walking in that value every day. So, but it's a struggle. Like I'm saying, like it's a struggle. Like going back to the movie, seeing him finally like crash out, in front of his kids, where I guess he hit that point where it's like I have no value anymore. So, that was rough to see, I guess, like for me in that part of the film.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
yeah. And that's the thing, is that end portion really does make up for it all. Seeing these good moments, seeing these life-changing things, it does really lift you up, and you're like, to keep perspective, man. Keep remembering these things.
Great take, Jay. Everybody's questioning you right now.
Well,
that's why I'm at this point in my life where I laugh at everything. Like I see life so different than I did 8 years ago. Completely different. So completely different. But yeah. Anyway, we're going through some deep stuff in this film. What are we doing? Yeah, you're right. Once he understood that his life did have a purpose, it still does have a purpose. That he's richer than most people in the world because of his beautiful family, and so on. That that it didn't matter. It didn't even matter to him that he might go to jail for something that wasn't even his fault.
Yeah.
Because he was the richest man in the world. So that was a beautiful scene. That was a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would apologize to the lady he chewed out on the phone, because I was like, holy crap.
Oh, he had several crash outs in this movie where he was out of line.
And
this guy,
his car is still on the tree. He drove right into a tree. And everybody's like, whatever.
When he was driving while drunk, I was like, why is nobody stopping him? What happened to DUI laws?
Yeah.
What a different time, man. What was the villain's name? What's that guy's name?
Mr. Potter.
Yeah. Why didn't he just die, man? He stayed the same age for like 30 years. Like, and they sat in the same chair.
Yeah.
So,
I laughed so hard when like they purposely made the chairs so much like smaller. So when he was like down, he was like this.
Did you know, Sevi, that is, if you study history, kings and stuff like that did that on purpose. People that thought that they were better than everyone else made sure that people sat lower than them, so they were always looking down on them. It was like a perfect, because Jimmy Stewart is actually like 7 feet. He's like super tall. He was in the film too. You could see he was like 2 feet taller than everybody else. But yeah, they made those chairs on purpose.
Man, if I was him, I would have just kept standing. I wouldn't have sat down. I'd be like, yeah, no. I'm just gonna look you eye to eye. Because
Can we all talk about like the early part of the film when it was a different time, and like the owner of the ice cream store just slapped his kid employee for like just being sad?
We're skipping over the part where he had a kid employee that was handling drugs.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, what the freak, dude? He just slapped the kid who was working the ice cream shop, who didn't send poison home to a lady that wanted pills. I was like, what the freak, dude? I was like, what a different time. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How do you explain that one?
All the time.
Mom, I got slapped by my boss today. Well, what happened? I don't know. I saved his business. And then, where else? He was going to go to, where was he going to go? Africa, Europe.
Baghdad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. He wanted to go to freaking Baghdad. I was like, what the who travels there?
Right.
Yeah, back in the day, it was a place you could go, actually.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Let's see. And what else? Everybody's so stunned, man. There's some good, there's some funny parts.
Clarence is great. Clarence is hilarious in the movie.
Who's Clarence?
He's the angel.
Oh, yeah.
Got the wings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tabitha's right. That little boy in the beginning wanted to have 4 wives and a couple of harems. What kind of talk is that?
He's a Chad for sure.
But I guess they showed all that to kind of shape who he was as a person. Mm-hmm. I do appreciate like these older films, how they like built out like some of the set designs. Like the first part where those kids were like going down the snow mountain into the water. You know, how that was all kind of like a set. I thought all that looked great. Yeah. You know? And then the fact that his wife wanted to buy a busted up old haunted house to live in. But, like, that was her job, is to like fix it up. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Watching him like hate on that house was just so funny. Like he just dude it like every time. Like it was also hard because some of the times you're like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Because my dude is just losing it right now. Like he is just going off. And
The
that
phone
was like
call was his kid was playing. What was she playing? Joy to the World.
Yeah.
He's like, don't you know another tune? I was like, God dang.
I think every dad has been there where you're just anything annoys you and you're not trying to be mean, but you're like, can you stop, please?
Just please stop. Oh, dude, watching this with my kids and the amount of times that they were like, is that dad? This sounds like dad. I was like, guys, y'all need to cut it out. Like, you're making me feel bad here. Like,
that's right. Bert and Ernie, they were the cops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. They named after the Muppets? Or is that vice versa?
I think it's the other way around.
I think the other way around.
Then we get the fact that they walk past like that abandoned house and they're like, if you throw a rock and break a window, a wish comes true. I was like, holy freaking crap, dude. They're just chucking rocks at houses now like it was nothing. And then I guess like they were at the dance and George stole that man's girl and he's like, let's just turn it into a pool party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
like it was
great.
like that was nothing too.
So that moment when they locked eyes, I thought was a great moment. When he looks at her, he's like, what do you want me to babysit? He goes, what? You know, and they kind of like that. That was cool. I kind of like that. I'm a hopeless romantic. I dug that scene. That was pretty slick. That you knew their destiny was that there was going to be them forever. So I dug it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not afraid to.
That's true. She was 18 and she got naked in the bushes.
Yeah.
And he was like, maybe I should charge money for people to come over here.
Dude, yeah, that whole scene was really funny. The acting and stuff in this movie is fantastic. Like, and just
That's so true.
Everything about it. It is wild how a lot of how well films from this time can still hold up and still be relevant and just all of it. Seeing ones like this is a reminder, like go back to some of this old stuff. Like it's because I struggle. I always want to see like whatever the new stuff is or, whatever. And I'm like, I have to make myself. But every time I do, I'm like, that was a real pleasure to go back to something like this.
Who cares what we think about the film? I want to know what you guys thought about It's a Wonderful Life. And thank you guys for the people that are just hanging out here. We're going to head on over to Critic List. Make sure you sign up for a free account, please, and tell the world what you guys think. Let me hit the refresh because some people might have been putting up their scores right now. I gave it a 95. Now that we've talked through it, I think I should have rated it a little bit higher, to be honest with you. To understand like how a movie back in the 1940s could pull so much emotion out and, have such a crazy conversation. That's wild.
Well,
the only person I ever married off was Ladybug, and that was it didn't work out. Sorry.
Also kind of think about the fact that they were talking about these topics in the 40s. They were talking about depression, Minecrafting yourself, and like all of that stuff way back in the 40s where was pretty much unheard of.
And I bragged to the Geeks and Gamers crew. I was like, me, Jeremy, and Mike are the most followed. I mean, Blaine doesn't count, but are the most followed people.
You are
ridiculous, right?
You
Look at
are
that with 51 thumbs up. Look at that. Gator Tico with a 95. That's awesome. Blaine with a 94.
I actually raised mine. Also, by the way, as we were talking about it too, I think I raised it to like a 97.
If a movie could do that much mental damage in a positive and negative way, it definitely was made correctly.
Right.
That's for sure. That's for sure. We got a lot of, I don't know if there's a bad score on this. Mass Marvel. Every time a bell rings, Mickey gets his feet. Interesting. Rebel Headspace at 96. Beast gave it a 55. Wow. Just about the best mid-Christmas movie there is. Overhyped because of nostalgia.
Oh, no.
I don't think so because this was my first time watching it.
Yeah, he's from Hawaii. It's a little different over there.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. JD Spooky Reviews gave it a 0.
Bro. Really?
Oh, that is brutal.
Well, it's not a spooky movie, so maybe.
That's right.
Maybe that's
it's kind of
it's pretty horrific.
If you woke up one day and nobody knew who you were, including your wife and your children were gone, that's some creepy stuff.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why you guys have to make a Criticless account and go over there and thumb it down and let your voice be heard.
That's right.
Mike gave it a 97. I wish he could be at the. He's with family, like most everybody else. Tabitha gave it a 60. Whew. Sometimes
it.
sometimes you don't like when the emotions pulled out of you in a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I'll
my gosh,
take
we
it.
are seeing a lot of bad reviews here. Look at
What
this,
are
a
we doing?
35.
Oh no, holy.
But I
Yeah,
hate the
depressed him.
story, and it's depressed the hell out of me. Yeah, that was my issue.
Yeah.
That was
It's a
my
hard
issue.
watch. This isn't like the type of Christmas film that you can, I mean,
Not Home
personally, that I
Alone,
want to watch
that's for
every
sure.
year. It's not
Yeah.
Home Alone.
We should watch
No.
Home Alone next. Or is it? Are we done with Christmas?
Alex gave.
We're
No,
done.
we're gonna do. We'll
Oh,
finish
it's-
out the
yeah.
year with. Cub Nut gave it a 99. Jester of Roanoke gave it a 100. When people think of Jimmy Stewart, they either think of Mr. Smith Goes to Hollywood or It's a Wonderful Life. I gotta tell you,
Washington.
my favorite one
Washington.
is The Spirit of St. Louis.
Mm.
You know The Spirit of St. Louis?
I've never seen it.
No.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
my
good.
That's my favorite Jimmy Stewart movie. So it really is. Faithful Geek gave it a 100. Is this the highest rated movie on Criticless? Broken Rents 93.
No.
Cornboy with a 100. Rough Night with a 100. Fergusoni with a 100. Mrs. Rough Night with a 100. No Man is a Failure Who Has Friends. That is such a line.
Let's go.
Retro Rabbit gave it a 100. Life on Marshmallows gave it 100. I think I thumbed that one up. Lord Botha 95. My Boy Pollo 99. Wait, it really is. Did he
Bojo?
not say anything?
No.
Am I
Some people
saying
do that.
something? It really
No.
is. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. It really is.
There it is.
I got it. Mission Impossible 92. Nostalgic Attack with a 100. 94. Yeah, it's nothing but positive. Mo gives it a 100. Yeah, look at that. There's that line. No man is a failure who has friends. That is a powerful line. I need to frame that and be reminded of
Oh
that
my
daily,
God, yeah.
honestly.
Absolutely.
Beach Stat with a
Mhm.
100. Nick gave it another 100. Look at this. Dr. Manzor, 100. John, 100. Mr. P, 96. This is like pretty high.
Heck yeah. No, it is.
Sevy gave it a
love
100. Mr. Smith, an 88. Fly to the Moon, a 95. 84. Wasp, a 100. Wasp is happy. I finally picked a movie she liked. Steel Leg of History, another 100. Wicked Virtue, a 100. A staple of my Christmas season since childhood. A Wonderful Life never loses power. Is that Randy Hoodie? Did I say that right?
I think so.
Rand Hoodie. Mr. Dixie. Now we're getting into a couple days, but still nothing. This is pretty high. We got a 55.
Oh no.
Seen too much prior to this. Eagle Thrasher, 95. Ernest, 84. Now we're way back at the beginning of the month, but I'll go
This
down
is
to
the one
thumbs up.
people kick their Christmas off with for sure. For me, this isn't an every year one, but it is absolutely worth seeing.
Not at all. Not at all. Pretty high scores, though, I will say.
Yeah.